Mile 1, mile 2, mile 3, mile 5, baby, mile 10, mile 15, 18 down, officially longest run of Cooper's career. Woo! Mile 20, 25, that's 26.
Last year, my brother Kenny and his friend Jordan convinced me to run the Fargo Marathon. And when I say convinced, I really just mean they asked me, because I've already run 2 half marathons at this point and figured it was finally time to make the jump to the full marathon. And I figured Kenny and Jordan would be perfect candidates for helping me through my first full marathon, because they both have already run multiple marathons at a much faster pace than what I was aiming to do. And they were able to help me make a training plan and keep me on pace with this, and also keep me moving in the marathon altogether. For the training plan we came up with, it involved 2 to 3 short runs a week, as long as 1 long run a week. The short runs were supposed to be about 4 miles, and like I said, 2 to 3 times a week, and the long run was once a week. I tried to do it on the weekend so I had more time, and these started at 8 miles and would increase by 1 mile every single week until I hit 20 miles. Choosing to sign up for this marathon has been one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life, with just the training alone, because it required 3+ months of training in running, something that I did kind of on the side to help stay in shape, but now take it more seriously and train for 26 miles. So with this plan in motion, I just started running 3 to 4 times every single week for the next 3 to 4 months, and we get check-ins from Kenny and Jordan about every week, asking me how the long runs went and if they felt good and if I need to keep going or stop the pace, which to my surprise, every week the distance actually felt really good, so I was able to increase it and hit that 20-mile mark before the marathon. The last thing to do in the whole training and preparation process was just make it out to Fargo, North Dakota. My wife and I were planning on staying and camping in there on our newly renovated RV for 3 to 4 days prior to the race, so I had time to kind of run the race and get a little more used to the area. However, we had some major mechanical issues and we're no longer able to take the RV kind of last minute, so we ended up making the 8-hour drive the day before in our car and had to stay in a hotel, which was not planned but not terrible, as we still had a place to stay, and we made it out to the race. So with nothing to lose, it was finally the morning of the marathon and I was super pumped. We had a small breakfast, we got all of our gear ready, got our bibs pinned onto us, and I was actually so pumped up that Kenny and Jordan were warning me, hey, conserve this energy, you're going to really need it in a marathon, which is just something I never would have thought of if I wasn't running this with them. And after 4 months of training and all this long driving and anticipation, it was finally time to line up for the marathon, and we took off. And the best part is that for the whole race, I convinced Kenny to record us every single mile, so we have every mile updates of how we were doing.
Mile 1. Woo! Really good. Woo! Mile 1. Mile 2. Loving the pace. Vibes are immaculate. Vibes are immaculate. Mile 3. Lost Jordan and Kenny to the porta potty. I don't know where they are. But feeling good.
Yeah, ironic song.
Mile 4. My friends returned. I think I can see them. Let's go. Mile 4.
I haven't heard this song.
Mile 4. Mile 5, baby. Still feeling good. Let's go. Let's go.
After the first couple miles, I was feeling great. We were all feeling great. The energy was amazing. There was thousands of people lined up on the streets cheering us on. 8 stations had water and Gatorade, which was a nice surprise about the Gatorade. And they even had live music playing on the streets in a couple of areas, which was really fun to listen to. Overall, just a 10 out of 10, feeling amazing.
Mile 6, baby. Feeling on fire. Wow, he's even controlling the phone. He's got this. Jordan's setting the pace. But it's whatever. Mile 7. First gelling. Going down like water. First gel. We're gelling. Ain't that right? This is our lead man. Over tennis courts. Let's go. Mile 8. How you guys feeling? I'm just saying. Let's go. They're feeling good. Our pacer left us. But he's going a lot faster than his pace, so it's okay. Little late, but we hit mile 9. Had our first hill. Pretty crazy. Still feeling good. Mile 10. Time for a downhill, baby. Big downhill. Let's go. Open the punch it!
Even after 10 miles of running, I was still feeling great. I've ran this distance so many times in training that it wasn't even that hard. And on top of it, the course was relatively flat, so still feeling great. I put myself about a 9 out of 10 here.
Mile 12. Almost halfway. Almost halfway. We're still feeling good. We're out here cooking. Lead man's still cooking. We're cooking. Let's go. Mile 13. We're halfway. Woo! We're still out here cooking. Pace man's still good. We're out here cooking. Let's go. Tune in on the return. On the return. Pace man's good. We're good. 14. Let's go.
We reached the official halfway turnaround point, which felt amazing because at this point I was thinking all we have to do is just run back. And I've made it this far, and I know the course, I know I can do it, so I was feeling pretty good, probably like an 8 out of 10 here. I was starting to get a little tired and sore, but nothing crazy. But that quickly changed after the next couple of miles.
Mile 15.
We're on a college.
Mile 15. We're on a campus. We're rolling, we're cooking. Pace man's good.
Oh, good work,
We're
good
good.
work.
16 in.
10 left.
10 to go. Mile 17.
The sun is hot.
The sun is cooking over here. It's baking.
We're about to head back to North Dakota.
That's right. Bye-bye, Minnesota. It's been good. It's been real. Mile 17. 9 to go. Single digits. 18 down. Let's go.
Time to grind.
Time to grind. We're on that grind. Looking good. Looking strong. Let's go.
If you can't tell from the videos, after about 18 miles, I was simply not feeling nearly as good as I was before. I was starting to get more tired, my legs were getting sore, and I just knew there was so much more race that we had to do yet. Around mile 16, I would say I was at maybe a 7, probably closer to like a 6 in overall how I was doing. And mile 18, that was down to like a 4, maybe a 5 if we were going downhill, so it quickly just declined, which was a bummer because I had 8 more miles to go at this point. But I was trying to keep my spirits high and just enjoy the experience for what it was.
19 in.
All right,
We're done.
Riders. Welcome to Mark's Mile. Keep it up.
Woo.
Nice. The fastest mile.
7 more. Let's go. Officially longest run of Cooper's career. Woo. Mile 20. We got 6 to go. Pace man's good. I can't know if I can see Cooper. Cooper's good. Let's go.
It's mile 21. We're going through sprinklers. Coop's fighting strong. Only got 5 miles left. And Kenny's drinking some beer.
Beer 2.
Beer 2. How you feeling, Coop?
All right.
After mile 20, there's really only one way to describe how I was feeling, and that is just straight up horrible. I felt dehydrated, I was really exhausted, my body hurt, everything just hurt, it was hot out, and I just pretty much wanted to be done. I was also calculating in my head how much farther I had to go if I continued at this pace, and the slowest pace I really ever hit in training was like 10, maybe 11 minutes, which I was running at this point, so I knew I had at least an hour yet of running before I would be done. Luckily though, I had Kenny and Jordan there who just kept running, kept pushing me, and honestly, if they weren't there, probably would have started walking at this point, so I was very thankful that I didn't do that and they kept pushing me.
Check in after mile 23. 22. 22. We battling. We out here. We're getting this bread. We're feasting. Couple left. Staying alive. 1 more. Let's go.
Mile 23. 23. 3 to go. Let's go. Mile 24.
2 left.
2 to go. Feeling good. Let's go. Let's go.
At this point in the race, 24 miles in, I simply just had nothing left. I was exhausted, I was super dehydrated, it felt like. My legs were sore, my whole body was just kind of starting to ache and hurt a little bit, but I knew that if I started walking, I wasn't going to be able to start running again, and figured that the fastest way to just get done with this whole experience was to keep running, so that's what I did. I also wasn't able to hold a conversation at this point anymore, and probably haven't been for the past couple of miles. Also didn't have headphones with me, so I pretty much was just shuffle running my way for the last couple of miles, kind of in silence because I wasn't super aware of anything that was happening around me if it didn't directly affect me. I know that Kenny and Jordan mentioned they saw a man wearing a gorilla mask, which I had absolutely no recollection of whatsoever. But we just kept on going.
25. We're on mile 25.
1 left.
1 left. Let's go. 26. That's 26. Let's go. Let's go.
Then it finally came down to the home stretch. At this point, I could see the finish line, and for the first time in the entire race, I knew exactly how much more I had to go to finish my first marathon. And with the help of Kenny and Jordan, we crossed the finish line, and I completed my first marathon ever after running for over 4 hours and 20 minutes straight. At first, there wasn't really anything that I was thinking or feeling, because I just wanted to sit down and be done with the experience and start recovering. But after about 10 minutes of laying in the grass, I kind of regained consciousness a little bit and was able to really think about what just happened. I just ran my first marathon and it was super awesome. Well, the actual running part, I don't know if I would say it was awesome, but the feeling of completing something that massive after training for 4+ months for it is just something unmatched unless it's something you've done before. This was probably the most accomplished I've ever felt in my life before, and to make it even better, it was also one of the hardest things I've ever done in my life. So those things just kind of compounded and just felt amazing. And after I sat in the grass for about another 30 minutes and was fed water and snacks, people helped me up and we were able to get back to the car with the sole purpose of heading back to the hotel and taking a nap. Overall, this was a really unique experience, and like I just said earlier, to spend pretty much your whole life outside of work for 3 to 4 months training for this thing, and for it to have a finish line and for you to cross that finish line, there really is just no way to match that doing anything else. It was one of the hardest things I've ever had to do mentally, and definitely the hardest things I've ever had to do physically. Now that it has been a couple months later, I've had more time to kind of process the whole thing. I'm really grateful that I did it and very thankful to Kenny and Jordan for helping me out along the way. And I've also decided to sign up for a second marathon because the first one wasn't bad enough. Just kidding. But the feeling of training for something that long and then completing it, I want to have that feeling again. And now that I ran my first marathon, I know what to expect a little more. I know how hard it is to run for that long. I've taken my training up a notch, running more miles every day and overall in the week, and hoping that this marathon will be faster and also feel better, and it's going to be in the cold, so hopefully I won't get as hot. Unfortunately though, Kenny and Jordan will not be there to help push me across the finish line, which will just make this whole thing even more challenging, so I'll be running it by myself, which I'm kind of looking forward to it and seeing how it compares running a marathon with other people. And if you want to see how training in that race goes in general, along with our whole RV journey, make sure you like and subscribe for the next videos, and we'll catch you next time.